Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Data Cloud Now. I'm currently in the south of France in Cannes, where I'm now delighted to be joined by Kevin Longo, VP of Sales Product Marketing at Fanatics, along with Andrew Jarvie, Senior Director of Measurement at Fanatics. Gentlemen, it's such a pleasure to sit down with both of you. Thank you so much for having me in your house here this morning.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Kevin, to start with, I want to focus on the big picture. And Fanatics advertising is a relatively new venture for you. What unique advantages do you see in bringing advertising capabilities to your broader sports ecosystem?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting. When you think about advertisers, they've always been passionate about sports, which
Right.
makes sense. Sports drive culture. It's also the last bastion of appointment viewing. And when we think about where we're unique, we're 100% focused on the fan. And that's really important because sports are nothing without the fans that drive them. And so we've built this really cool ecosystem that we're excited about of the platforms, products, and tools for people to connect with their passion. And the easy job for us is how do we bring brands into that?
Kevin, great insights and perspective. And now, Andrew, with all that said, could you please talk about the ease of connectivity in the Snowflake environment?
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things we're super excited about as it relates to bringing this to marketers is what we call our fan graph. So,
Mm.
the fan graph started out as like an internal need state. We have a whole bunch of these at different operating companies internally that all have sort of a siloed view of the customer and a siloed understanding of their fandom and their passion points. And so, bringing that all together for us is the same sort of value prop that exists for a marketer, understanding how you consume across different leagues and different teams and the different sort of ways with which you engage sport. And so now what we've been able to do internally is, bring all this data into sort of our Snowflake environment. Is coming from a whole bunch of different environments to begin with. And so that sort of first part, just being able to actually get it all together, synthesize all that data. Now, the secondary part that we've been really excited about these last sort of few months as we've been working to stand up this offsite side of the business is being able to actually connect it out into the ads ecosystem, right? And so finding all the sort of partners that exist in the Snowflake marketplace and being able to actually get that data and access and connectivity through them, all within like such a safe and secure environment, has really made like something that would normally have taken 2-3 years to actually build out all the pipes and all the tools in months. So it's been really awesome to work through the system.
I love to hear it. And as an avid sports fan, I want to say thank you very much. I'm seeing some of my favorite celebrities in the space here. Kevin, Fanatics has recently made bold moves into retail media. What unique strategic advantages does your sports-centric data foundation offer in this competitive landscape? And what future innovations are you most excited from a partner benefit perspective?
Boy, this is actually something that we debate all the time. So
I love it.
I'd love your take.
Let's go. Let's do it.
I mean, when we were starting, we were saying, are we a retail media network? Are we a commerce media network? We even played for a while, are we a sports media network? So if anybody has an opinion, please reach out to me directly. Like our fan graph that he was talking about is largely informed by transactions, which is a tremendous source of strength as we go towards a cookieless future. And so as we think about it, we have to have the mechanics of a traditional RMN and all their expectations, but we had to build something much more comprehensive. We're trying to be the leading sports digital platform. And so we had to constantly think bigger. And what I think is unique is Amazon, Walmart, Target have all built incredible media businesses, really focused on driving value for the products that they sell in their stores and on their websites. If you think about Fanatics, we have a much more narrow view of our vendors in that it's only people who sell sports merchandise. And so we had to think through, okay, for that cohort, we have to have a traditional retail media network. Can we do precision targeting and attribution? But we had to constantly pressure test for everybody else. And so I think in doing so, our biggest potential weakness became our biggest potential strength. At every checkpoint, we had to think, how do we drive value for a brand who doesn't sell on Fanatics? And we built what we think is a really cool mid to upper funnel play for every brand, and then a retail media function for the vendors that work with us directly.
Very well said. And gentlemen, now I want to look towards the future and very much keeping it at that high level altitude. How do you both see Fanatics continuing to leverage data and AI to maintain leadership as the global digital sports platform? Andrew, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, so it's an interesting one. We've kind of had some internal debate around this and how we think about even the AI layers of the data strategy. So part of what we have with FanGraph is this sort of deterministic understanding of people in fandom, right? And so there's almost one of those things you want to typically avoid an MLAI layer on because you don't necessarily want to get an ad in New York wrong when you're serving Mets creative to a Yankees fan. That's not going to go very
It's
well.
not going to go well at all.
We're not going to do that, right? So, from that perspective, we have like this data set that you'd actually want an AI model trained off of.
Right.
We're not doing that, but what we will use is like a lot of the Cortex functions and things like that in Snowflake's environment. Like we want to be able to enable sort of this, lean but growing sales team and other folks to be able to access and talk to the data in sort of much more natural ways for themselves, such that they can kind of get a better understanding of it, a better grasp of it, be able to sort of directly interact with it. It's much more scalable from an organizational perspective. And so that's sort of the biggest area we're leaning in from a AI strategy over the next little while, is just really being able to like bring all of that functionality in a much more scalable way to the team. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're going with it right now.
Very well said. Kevin.
Yeah, you can tell we debate a lot over here.
Yeah.
Kevin, anything you'd like to add?
Speaking on like the sales and marketing side, we're certainly using it for efficiency tactics, like slides and decks and documents and things like that. I think in other places we've hesitated because we feel like this is something that hasn't been built before, and that gives us two sort of limitations or opportunities. So one is we really want to understand it, and we had some inroads where like, all right, if we use AI here, it could expedite it, but we won't have the opportunity to learn from what's about to happen. I think the second thing is we're talking about people's passion, and AI is largely trained on things that have happened before. And what we're building is something that hasn't happened before. And so when we think about Fanatics Fest, which you see all over this wall, and we're going to do, a pros versus Joes competition of 50 athletes and 50 fans, I don't know that AI could reasonably understand that what happens when we add Kevin Durant to this? What happens when we add iShowSpeed, a YouTube celebrity, to this? When we think about the prize money, $1 million in a briefcase, should it be there on site? And all of these things have impacts for the end product that we deliver. And so we've just been staying really close to that. We are going to continue to integrate AI in more places, but I think that's sort of kept us at bay, at least at launch.
Well, gentlemen, it's safe to say it's an exciting next chapter for Fanatics. Such a pleasure sitting down with both of you here this morning.
You as well.
Thanks for coming out.
And for the audience watching, I'm Ryan Green with Data Cloud Now. See you soon.